But now you're ending up in this position where he's not able to provide that same sort of support, and Magoo is left on trying to find his own footing, and he wasn't really able to do that here. Sure, he still put up a decent performance, but nowhere near what we saw in Split. I also think it comes down to the map. Split is a very narrow map, and you saw how confident Magoo was in going into these close range fights because he had the dash to get out of there. He was winning a lot of those duels when map control was being sought after. On Ascent, it plays a little bit more around middle, and when you combine in the smoke usage just to block off those longer range angles, there wasn't really a whole bunch of opportunity, certainly nowhere near the same as there were on Split for him to capitalize on.
Do you think we're going to see this smokes and info comp, as I'm calling it, aka no duelist, for NIP becoming a mainstay as we see them move forward potentially in this competition, Banks?
Maybe on Ascent for sure, right? We see the battle stage became a bit of a thing towards the end of the first strike, and now we're seeing Existence and Go pull it out here under the Ninjas. It was massively impressive, but I don't think I've seen anyone pull it off with such confidence. I'm going to keep coming back to that word of it, because they were taking fights against the team that just took you down on your map pick, and they still didn't give a damn. That on its own impressive. And we just got to also talk about Kreia. I mentioned him in the pre-game, especially what he was able to do on the Omen. I said, okay, he was an Omen that towards the end of last year was starting to get figured out, get found out a little bit more. Or he had so many key moments involved in this game that was the huge difference maker, even when Futbolist had a chance to take a round.
And what did you think of those executes from NIP, Mitch? Because it felt like a very different team to the one that we saw on that first map.
Yeah, it's just a very high pressure environment. I think it's very odd that we ended up in a spot where, especially attack side executes, that this map looked better for NIP than their own choice. But I guess it's always a gamble when there's a map change made and you have no info on how your opponents are playing on that map, and this is your first official as a 5-man on that map. You're rolling the dice, and they got caught off guard by a lot of the things that Futbolists were doing. As I said, it was just a very polished game on that first map. Here, they got a little bit more space to play with, and I think you could just see how much more comfortable they felt when they weren't worried about that AWP coming around any corner at any time and taking them down with a very quick shot.
Well, I should probably explain to anyone who's just joined us how Home Ground by Red Bull works. So essentially at the start of the series, we have our teams picking their home ground map. So essentially their first map is the one that they're taking the biggest gamble on, because if they win their home ground and win their opponent's home ground, it's a 2-0. We don't go the distance to a full best of 5. But of course, if they lose their home ground and they lose their opponent's home ground, well, they are out of this competition, because this is a single elimination, a brutal bracket. So in this instance, both teams have won each other's home ground. So we are going to see at least 4 or 5 maps in this series. The next one of those maps is going to be Haven. It's an NIP pick. And then we're going to see Icebox. And that could potentially see us through to a 5-map series, because we just don't know how NIP play it. And we know that, well, the Turkish team, that they played it at least once. I think they lost it, but they've got some competitive experience on it, which NIP don't seem to. But let's focus on Haven next, because just going by the performance on that last map, I have a feeling that NIP are going to take this one too. I don't know, how do you feel about it, Mitch?
You know, again, this is going to be an unknown because we haven't seen them play as a 5-man, and there's so many different roles that players are going to be slotted into. And a great example of that is JD right off the bat. He's not going to be playing the Sage on this map. At least I would be insanely surprised if he did. Probably we're going to see him slot into a duelist. Maybe your Phoenix or your Reyna that we've seen him take in the past, and really look for those individual duels. As he's been hitting his shots today, I think that's something that's reasonable for him to do within this composition. For the most part, though, I think the rest of the lineup will stay the same. Chihuahua might go for a Killjoy, he likes to, but Cypher would be equally as acceptable. The question for me is, how good are they going to be on there? How ready are they? Because we've already seen on their map pick a split, they were caught off guard by Futbolist. Then we look at Ascent, Futbolist's best map. They're somehow able to come out on top and make their opponents uncomfortable. So this team is already showing that within their map picks, it's up in the air. I really don't know what to expect from these guys. And I think on paper, with this being a middle tier map for Futbolist, I have to favor NIP, but say that it is a bit of a shot in the dark.
Oh, well, take a shot for me, Banks. What do you reckon we're going to see here?
Well, if this was going into the old NIP, right, we've seen some kind of unforgiving games on Haven where we weren't so impressed with them. But again, we can only go off what we know of old, and this new NIP at least looks so much better on a map that we didn't expect them to do so. When it comes to Haven, I always give it that middle ground for both sides. It's a map that everyone's be able to play for a high level. But I think the key part is
the pistols aren't going to come through. One kill, 2 kills. Serpent's still here. Serpent going on the big flank. This is still doable. Time's ticking. Oh, the flash. They're all going to be just sweating bullets. They're sticking it.
So now for Futbolist, they really need to see what their mental strength's going to be like and how they can reset themselves coming into. We're not talking about seasoned and veteran pros here who understand how to go, okay, cool, we'll brush that one off and we'll move into the next game. This is going to be a true test of how they are as a team and what they can bring to the table. And again, if they get in this situation where NIP get ahead, can they even come back from it? Did their heads go too far down? I think this is what it's going to really rely on here.
Well, I'm just having a look at the stats for Futbolist on this map. Played it 3 times and lost it once. And just looking at the compositions, the most picked team compositions, they switched it up each time. The most played one, played all of 2 times, has features a Reyna. Banks, I know you have some strong feelings for Reyna, and they're not good ones.
I like a Reyna if it's not competitive, right? So I'm all in for Reyna being on the streams and having a bit of fun in there. I spoke to Scream about this the other day, and me and him were basically discussing, like, Reyna is great, but when it comes to helping your team and being in an environment where you need to make some executes, it's very limited in there, right? That's why people see you go for the Jet, for example, to come into play. It's got a bit more in the tank like that. If they do want to bring out the Reyna, maybe they're going to rely heavily on the individual to just pop off. But then when you're going for retakes, for example, that's when things get a bit more difficult because you're limited on the abilities. You don't have enough to push that further step inside. So if they go for it, it'll be a bit of a shock, but maybe it's something that NIP doesn't expect of it. But overall, I would like it avoided in competitive still.
I think that's absolutely fair enough. Going to Ninjas, they have a lot more experience on this map. They've played it 15 times. However, they've only won 5 times. Sometimes they run a Phoenix on this map. Do you think he's going to be a mainstay of the current meta?
So here's the difference, though. Obviously, that NIP lineup had Safe, who loves his Phoenix. This guy is almost impossible to get off of that agent. And then you had Looker, who was a Jet. Now, at the moment, I don't know if we're going to see that same composition coming out from NIP with the current roster. As I'm saying, a lot is going to change and a lot can switch around because all of these players have played like 6 or 7 agents. They've got depth, so it's like shuffling a deck of cards and seeing what you get. But for me, JD, if he takes a Reyna, I'll make an exception. I'm very similar to Banks in that Reyna, I don't like seeing her. Phoenix, I definitely don't like seeing, but in the hands of JD, I think, look, if you've got a player, you're going to play around him opening space and going in for those duels, and you put a Jet in there to or a Raze as well to help you in entering these sites. I think it's still something you can work with, especially because Haven is that map that typically you'll see teams take a double duelist on.
Now, given that you see teams take a double duelist on, how do you think Futbolists are going to approach this one? Because they are starting on the defense first. This seems to be the trend so far, 1 series deep into this tournament, that the map pick from a team, or I'm going to start that again because that's not going to make any sense when I try to finish the sentence. If you pick a map, the other team picks a side, and all of the maps so far, the team that hasn't picked the map has chosen to play defensively first. That's literally the same across the board this time. So Futbolists, they are going to be defending first, and if they are going to pick 2 duelists, and they seem to be playing quite aggressively so far, so I guess you would expect them to. Where do you expect to see them positioning? Because this is possibly one of the harder maps to defend, given that you have to resource 3 sites.
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? We've often seen kind of the Sage may come into effect, maybe not so recently, but kind of put that B wall up to kind of lock it down. Then a Sentinel can kind of take 1 site and then you can play the other 2 off around it and then have maybe a player float around. When you're talking about double duelist setup for it, maybe you just go straight in for the Jet and then you bring out a Raze if that's really what Futbolists want to try and do here. But like you mentioned, because they do have the Reyna in there, there is this chance them bringing it out. If they have the Reyna, I expect that to be the player that's going to float around. I want to see the movement from that because you're seriously relying on the individual and it needs to be in the fight. You need to get activated so that you can either heal up or you can dismiss and you can stay in the action and stay fighting the whole time. And the key part is going to be also getting the ults on go for the Reyna if it's what they go for. For us right now, we don't want to see it, but these teams, they are the pros, right? They know what they feel comfortable on. So maybe you go for what you feel best at overall. And I think that's going to be the key part, is staying where you're comfy.
So do we think that Rhyme is going to be switching back up to the duelist one for the Ninjas, Mitch?
Oh, I mean, again, it's really hard to guess at, but I think JD takes priority. So JD should be the one that's taking a duelist off the bat, a Phoenix, a Reyna, something like that. For Rhyme, I could see the raise. I could see it come out. I think that means that they'll play without a jet. They might play loose or with no operator at all. On a map like Haven, we can see both styles come out. So I would guess that we'll probably see him take the raise, and that will be a very different composition to what we've seen from NIP in the past, but again, very different lineup.
Well, gentlemen, one of the joys of the home ground format is that now both teams have won each other's home ground picks. We are going to be playing a full best of 5 series, but we can't have a 3-0. So we're definitely going to see 2 more maps, maybe 3. It's an absolute treat to kick off competitive Valorant in Europe for 2021. So let's head back to Hypoc and Pansy to get us into Haven.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. And do you know what makes me happy is EU getting big tournaments like this. This is why I actually liked this format, because one, you either see upsets of someone picking up wins on opposition's favorite maps. You get to see which teams, what are their favorable home map picks for one. And then if it doesn't go that way, we get to see a best of 5, which Europe hasn't really had that much of. Anything in the picks here that are sticking out to you, Hypoc?
No, not really. Again, we touched on whether or not Killjoy was going to make an appearance, and actually both sides now, Modge and Chihuahua, opting for Cypher. Again, Korea sticking with that Omen. Mark now in a completely different role altogether. He's gone from Duelist to Sentinel now to the Brimstone.
Wow.
So Sturban actually flexing onto the Breach here for Haven. Sasuke back on the Sova. Magoo, again, no real surprises there on the Jet. But an interesting point was made. Obviously, the support around Magoo on Split, not really a factor on Ascent. No, so really, obviously Haven, can be a bit of a quicker map in terms of, how fast teams do like to hit sites or look for kind of that bloodbath around garage / mid outside B. Going to be interesting to see here if Futbolist kind of, revert back to what Magoo was able to do on Split and kind of be in a position to enable him.
Okay. I think we've got a couple of things to look out for. Pistol rounds going to be starting things off. And my eyes go towards, okay, what version of Sasuke do we get? What version of Magoo do we get? There's a couple of different looks that we've seen so far, but it's yet to come. And of course, NIP.
Mantap. Mantap. Kok nge-lag ya? Woi, kok nge-lag gue anjing?
Night and day from map 1 to map 2, of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's already mid-control gone at NIP. No subtlety, no quietness to this. Smoke on the left, face on the right, and in we go. There's going to be the nade going to come out. The pain shell's going to just force them away. A little bit of chip damage too. Little bit, actually quite a lot. Sturban going to be a little flustered after the back of that. And a quick plant to follow. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take him like this. No, absolutely not. Spike is down.
Yeah, Korea falls for it. Again, just committing that his team. You can see how far he's backed up. He was just out on an island there to get the spike down. Magoo will find existence on the way in. Here comes the pinch actually from NIP. 2 members pushing through. JD over in mid.
Yeah, Mark was just the absolute spoiler to that little flank that they're trying to do. Now, JD was kind of the last line of defense, maybe just to swing on the bomb, but they're hoping to split around kind of, garage, work through, kind of play through by the window, but Mark was just holding that so competently. Really well done. I'm beyond happy to see that. Mark's not been, I wouldn't say like a highlight player when you have the likes of Magoo or Sasuke or, even Sturban having a couple of moments, Modge as well, but Mark worth his weight in gold there. Really nice play, kind of consistently held that push just in case maybe aware of these approaches that they're seeing.
Yeah, really good to see. And one thing I always like to see on Haven is a team showing they're not afraid to go towards B. And again, a lot of teams defending Haven, they default to kind of leaving B open. We'll play retake there. Again, LRP showing maybe just, some foundations of conditioning, so to say. I always like to see that on Haven. Just make sure that it's a factor. It's something for the defenders to worry about, that, one round we might just decide to all out push B. Be ready for it.
I also want to look at NIP and see that we've seen the good side in map 2, right? We saw how good Ascent was for them, but we don't know the consistency yet either. That's one thing, because they're still working under a bit of a new roster, new IGL. This is a big change up in that manner. And of course, they've been working in that little bit of a down season from the end to now, but it won't always look like Ascent did, and it may not always look like Split did, but we don't know yet where the balance lays. Is this going to be another Ascent, or is it going to be a Split for them? How confident are they? How comfortable on the attacking side are they? We simply don't know how well they kind of stack up just yet. This round, considering I think they got almost, actually didn't get a single kill if I'm not mistaken. It didn't look like they did. Maybe I'm incorrect on that, but didn't do much damage, at least on the first. The buy here is going to be incredibly weak. Just upgraded pistol, still looking for 30 seconds which could be coming in. Still one on the side. Crone's going to be just locking it down. That's Mark again.
Flash
Great
is
work
so
from Mark.
good.
Yeah, the combination coming out right now is excellent. Yes, they got a couple of kills traded back in. Chihuahua makes things interesting now. Suddenly, a 2v2. The HP is dire though for the ninjas. Down to just one. Raze left. Raze dead. Moj there. NIP did a good bit of damage, got the spike down, but couldn't convert more than that. But you know what? Not a bad little post up for round 2.
Not at all, and again, not afraid to kind of take that brawl on site on both sides. Actually, it was impressive for NIP to bring it down to a 2v2, doing a lot of damage in terms of the economy. It looks like Futbolist considering, yeah, maybe just trying to bonus this one out. They don't want to invest too much up. Again, this is standard stuff, really. You don't want to be left in the next round here after NIP are able to buy back into this with nothing on the board. So that's why we do see the Sheriffs. But a quick hit here. NIP Rhyme straight over towards the sewers position. Nobody on site for Futbolist. Modge all the way over towards A-Link, but he does have that utility invested here. And you can see the utility being invested for Futbolist means that they can 3-man push C-Long to try and convert this bonus round.
Wonder if Cypher's aware. Yeah, it looks like that little alarm bell's been ringing. And Sasuke, great trade there. Chihuahua I thought would have been good for 2, but actually not the case. Sasuke with an excellent trade coming back in. JD trying to clear out with the utility. While all this happens, though, they are still building towards that A site. Now, it is a 4v4, and it looks like it will be a retake all day long, even with the time dwindling a little. Now on this take, they're still being meticulous NIP on the clears here. The amount of times you'll see players tucked in on that A short push, or, you know, just being nuisances. But for now, it is somewhat clear. Obviously, they don't know that, we do. The site take should commence. The retake is what I'm going to be looking at.
You know, stack it up again. 4v4, so definitely doable on both sides, even with the equipment at their disposal. Wait and see how they approach this, but got to assume, just look at a Rhyme there, no utility left on his part. How much the rest of NIP are able to save to hold on to this.
I just also think that Futbolists don't have a great deal to play with. Of course, they're down to a couple of pistols here and there. You can see what's the plan is, at least for now, isolating one, but Rhyme is more than up to the challenge. Sasuke and Magoo drop down, feed into the machine. Rhyme, perfect play again. Barely broke a sweat and really nice HP left. 69.
Nice.
Nice. We do at least have the goodbye coming up for Futbolists, though we do see that up back in play, so things could look different now.
It is, and again, it's weird to see a team do that, but just to make you guys obviously aware that they don't understand, obviously the economy changes here, and it's very standard procedure now for teams to do that. They're trying to look aggressive to convert those bonus weapons. Again, no shame at all in what Futbolists tried to do there. And at the end, you know, in terms of retake, they just want to damage the economy. That's all it is. It's damage control there on that round for Futbolists. So this is the first real full buy on both sides. You see a heavy lean from NIP over towards C-Long. Actually, Mark posted up inside this smoke here. Did he see the barrel? I don't think he did.
He should have done. Oh, now he's going to know this problem's coming his way already. One's going to fly in. The move as slick as ever. Sets up JD so well, and Mark's dead and buried. That's a rough way to start it off. The positioning. Rhyme is running rings around them right now. Yes, Moj just found Chihuahua, but that was the lurk. That was the flank. That was going to be the kind of nail in the coffin. Not going to happen. Rhyme once more. The barrels giving away so much. Another one. But the trades. They just found 2 off the back of that. JD just must have lined up with Rhyme. That's a problem. This is something a 2v2. It never should have been. Maybe a 3v2 at worst. But suddenly, existence and experience reigns supreme. Shuts it down. No play back in.
And again, Mark unfortunately forced to shoot the first member of NIP that showed presence, which was Rhyme, and the double satchel. I mean, it's always so difficult to pick that raise out of the air. And at that point, as soon as he shoots, I mean, he showed his hand. The gig's up. He has to commit to something there. So the timing absolutely perfect there from NIP to swing out of that smoke at the same time. Again, I don't actually think he saw the barrel. I mean, if he saw the barrel, he could have committed to getting that first kill, but really, really unfortunate for him there that it's Rhyme that comes through first.
And that's going to be a bit of a money problem building for Futbolist here. As you can see, the Sheriff's going to come out to play. Maybe use Jet's ultimate to try and at least levy some sort of advantageous piece from the back of it. Gets an isolated fight, wins the fight. That's a bit of an issue. Be able to pick that up for free. The default's going to cost them a little bit here. Maybe expecting aggression, but the shot comes in, and we know Magu's dangerous when he gets going. But now it means like a quick response is on the cards. Back towards A we go.
I mean, one of the factors you can always rely on in some of these eco rounds, the low buy rounds, if Jet does have ultimate, Magu's the sort of player we've already seen that can make moves with that ultimate. Right, now Spike, a little bit hesitant, waiting out those shock darts, don't want to get bombed off of default there. Sasuke up in heaven does have his recon here as well, so synchronized push potentially, but look where Rhyme's managed to get. Sturban turns on him. And the lurk is eliminated.
He's made an absolute meal of it. He's going to be kicking himself, so you know that Existence wants to get proactive. He wants to try and do some damage, buy some time, and he's done even more. Gets the kill towards one. JD now set up for success. This is a brilliant crossfire. And NIP just turning the screws. Futbolist, they're on a weaker buy, but they tried to suffer through that. That flank fell to pieces. But the Ninjas dig their heels in, and even after that great start, NIP do make their way out of the round as the winners.
Good ultimate as well. JD tucked all the way in long there. As soon as that Hunter's Fury goes down, he knows that he's going to create some chaos in A-Link. Existence perfect with the peak all the way through. A really, really good post-plant setup there. And again, a couple of players from NIP low HP, so I'm absolutely fine with the ultimate being invested there to secure that round. You can see now a little bit of bankroll in favor of NIP. 2 players of Futbolist down to 0. A couple of others, only 1 on 4 digits, to be honest.
Again, we have to keep an eye on the starting foray between these two. What's the approach? What's the look? It looks like sending Korea first this time. Magu up for the fight, gets a peek, gets, I think, information on at least 2 there. Maybe not seeing everything, but more than enough to call for support towards B.
Again here, like I said, I actually like this. I always like seeing a team kind of show some presence towards B, because it's so often left up for retake by defenders. It's that conditioning factor that I always love to see from teams. You can see now 2 members outside garage, 1 on B site, Magu over towards A-Link now trying to back up Moj. So it's already done the work now, because NIP leaning heavily back over towards A.
Yeah, pulled those rotations away just perfect. Wait, that Omen's got the spike. I'm a little worried. Oh, I thought it was up top. It's in towards Hell. That's okay. Korea's on safe. Gonna be able to get that spike planted. Nice little post-plant position. Does he get the spike down in time? Yes, just about. He's been getting away with murder, Korea. The first round didn't work out so well, but now Ryan's gonna pick up the position. Noted, however.
And actually, look at this. The investment, the ultimates comes through as well. Ryan's stuck now in Hell. 4-man swing comes through from Futbolist, and Rhyme did get tanked by the Hunter's Fury as well. Magu finds one, Moj finds a second now. JD stuck behind that molly on shore. There's 2 members left standing now for NIP. Sturban finds another. Sasuke closes that one out. A clinical retake there, even though NIP threw down a lot of utility their way. They hold the line, and I mean, don't lose anybody on the way in. It's notoriously difficult to get a way back in clean on A site. Futbolist showing how it's capable.
Yeah, plenty of utility committed towards it, but you saw how incredibly viable it was once they got all that in the right place. Isolating a few, denying Korea's position. You saw a little bit of a sneaky spot kind of re-garnered by Ryan, but he was unable to make much of it once he got noted. Then all of that breach work coming through, and we do have a tactical coming out for NIP, and I think it's a perfect time to call it 3-3. You've kind of got a bit of the lay of the land now. You've got a good idea of what both teams are doing and how they maybe want to approach this. For me, this is an excellent display of what I like to see from the likes of Existence, is calling tactical timeouts, working through this, trying to get those good answers. To me, it's always like a game of chess, right? These sort of games. And obviously, there's always that firepower. There's always the star power.
Yeah.
But it's, okay, what approach works against what we're having? And we saw it perfectly on Ascent that NIP can have those answers, but we don't know how deep that goes yet.
No, absolutely. And I mean, we touched on this at First Strike. A couple of these more experienced names, again, Existence is one that's going to stand out, but just saying, what have we learned? You know, what have we seen in the first couple of rounds now that we can act upon? Let's put a plan together. Is there a hole in the defense? What can we, you know, kind of abuse or kind of expose on the side of Futbolist? So I'd love to see it as well, whether or not we see a complete switch up. Again, towards the end of Ascent, especially on attack for NIP, we saw how capable they were of switching things up, going faster, finding a different pace, and how effective it was for them.
Okay, Korea, this is certainly different. Korea's kind of been the tip of the spear of somewhat for NIP. Sometimes sticks the landing, sometimes doesn't, but proactive is the name of the game. And as is Magu, again, information garnered. He did this well towards middle in those previous. But you're already seeing Korea trying to find this challenge, and you're going to see Sova committing a little bit of the Owl drone down towards A-Long to clear, then takes the control. So all of that early kind of battle for kind of A-Long control has now been kind of dwindled. You can see Rhyme well aware that there's going to be a bit of a fight coming through, so by the time he makes noise, he has to be ready to commit. Nade towards the left, clear towards the right. He's got to commit on this one. He does well. It's Chihuahua to fall foul, and actually it's Moj. What a play from the man. Sits in well, digs in deep, still stands and runs solo, but still lands a shot on 5 HP. There is deadliness in all of these players, even with the chips being so far down. Futbolists can't get back in yet. They have the player advantage, and they want to try and use it.
Again, the flash is coming through here. Existence just stuck. No decision really is the right one. There you go. Sasuke will finally clean Rhyme up, but again, a nice hit. Well countered by Modge and Mark holding down garage control there. Modge actually already putting up some numbers. Again, you don't usually look towards the Cypher to be the one leading the charge, but he's been NIP playing into him a little bit. I will say a lot of presence shown towards C site, and I mean he's holding down. He's holding down.
As the thing for me is as well, when I see someone on a Cypher, I look to them to be the kind of, you know, safe pair of hands, the rock of the team. Exactly. They may get, you know, at most, I'll take a 2, right? I'll take 2 kills. That's excellent, but you get the information. He's been doing more than that, which is insane to me. For now, we'll see if he continues. If he does, great work. But beyond that, we look towards what NIP do to create space, and Korea are going to at least create a chance. Magu going to go this time. First time we've seen that fight go this way.
Yeah. And that was Magu kind of just strolling down mid to look for something. Does lose the Vandal there as well, and you can already see NIP. I mean, Korea with the Bulldog, Ryan with the Spectre. They're going to want to try and retrieve that. See now the smoke goes down over B for them to come and take it. And again, that's a big factor now. NIP number advantage. Now they have the Bulldog and the Vandal to work with, and actually Futbolist trying to respond onto that to shut it down. 33 HP. The pinch comes through. Sasuke will pick up Rhyme. Now they have mid control. NIP forced back over towards A site, but this Cypher utility here again going to give all the information back over to Futbolist to recover.
That re-aggress towards middle, they're so confident in it, and Chihuahua's in all kinds of trouble. Does manage to garner at least the positioning towards Hell. The plant should be toyed with. You can see JD trying to go for that. I'm not sure if anyone can stop it right now. Not the case. Quick little flick out from Sasuke, though, does find existence as JD now stuck towards the site in all kinds of trouble. He's got players in front, behind, left, right, center. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Location revealed. It's all being thrown in. They are not leaving anything to chance. These boys are playing perfect. Good retake again from Futbolist.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. The timing on the fault line there, absolutely fantastic. Again, Sturban on that long flank down all the way, cleans up the deeper member of NIP and sends the fault line through for his teammates as well. So really, really good pinch on the retake. Again, 5-3 scoreline here. Futbolist just edging away 3 rounds in succession. You see, actually, NIP, when they did go back to the drawing board, whether or not they're able to produce anything from here, because looking at it now, I mean, Existence, Sheriff in hand, Korea, the Sheriff light armor, and actually not a lot of credits elsewhere in terms of the economy. Maybe Korea saving up for that operator.
Now, deeper into this, 5-3 still close enough that I'll leave it up there, but I really want us to talk about what worked for NIP before, maybe on their attack, and maybe what's falling slightly short here, I feel. At least we saw it once come out quite nicely on Ascent. Maybe not even that much, I guess, considering how they started. But beyond that, we do see that op in play. Now, what this means is Magu can now post up towards long. Should at least get a clean fight on one and can back away from the fight for free, being that jet. Now, Paranoia is going to start to build. Not from Omen, but the fact that this cage has now kind of denied the vision that could have allowed players to cross through. but gonna stick his ground, feels confident enough. They've clearly got information that that's gonna be a fake or a set piece, or they're just simply comfortable enough in that fact, and it looks like once again NIP are leaning towards B.
Indeed, let's see, Modge. Again, just the bait from Ryan, the double satchel in. First player tries to pick him off, and yeah, no damage done actually. Spike goes down straight away. 2 members isolated over towards A site here. Ryan looking to Magoo all the way through the smoke there. Kriya good for the trade though. Magoo now does switch over to the Vandal, gets Kriya down to 5 HP, but I don't think Magoo's going to expect him to reposition here.
That's filthy, but there's still problems on the,
No,
I
he
guess,
doesn't.
western front. Yeah, Kriya really well played that dirty off angle, and JD's aim is just on point. This is the thing, we know that NIP are dangerous once they stick in towards those landings. Those retakes coming out from Futbolist were excellent though. So I mean, for me, this is just, okay, do we get a little bit of spark from the NIP side where it all lines up for them? Or I feel almost Futbolists are more consistent in how they're approaching, which I'm quite surprised about. Map 1 was super explosive and very hard to repeat, but they've managed to make it almost their style.
Well, it's interesting really to look at the comparison. NIP looked fantastic in some of these quick hits. Some of these, you know, really fast setups, fast entries, especially on map 2. I mean, it was Futbolists that were able to demonstrate it better on map 1, but now it's this kind of war of attrition. We'll have to see if NIP can kind of last all the way through this half. Again, 4 rounds on attack already. No complaints about that already. Hunter's Fury gets invested over. Mark's got to be careful not to lose his life here, give entry away on C side, but NIP with a completely different approach again this time around. I'm intrigued to see actually if they have a different setup for defense, or a different ethos, I guess, really, for defense.
Yeah, you can see the utility being committed. Last time they kind of feigned towards A fair amount and then went back towards that B hit, which worked quite well for them, but whether or not they can do that again, we'll have to wait and see. At this point, you're going to see once again that similar approach towards A long. However, this time the commitment behind it. And it hasn't been the plants that have been the harder thing for NIP. It's been maintaining during those retakes.
Indeed, Kriya. Look for the TP into hell once again. And again, not having a member on site here, they don't lose anybody for this. The fact that Modge is playing all the way up in heaven, sort of playing into that. Hunter's Fury going to go down towards default. I don't think he's actually got a tag on that just yet, so no damage coming out from the ultimate. Kriya tries to TP back across. Again, I won't say it. Omen TP hitbox. And here comes the retake of Futbolist.
I like that kind of fake out, almost making that utility happen early. Kriya worked his way in goal so far. Good trades, but it's going to be existence to hold the line. Keeps Sasuke back this time. And I like the work from NIP. Faking out the plant a little, trying to cost that utility that was so deadly on those retakes before. By the time the spike went in, by the time the retake happened, he didn't have anywhere as near as much to deny all those angles that worked out this time for NIP.
Again, tap the spike. They know the Hunter's Fury is going to come through. Again, really, really good stuff right there on the A site here. I mean, they've looked best on this in terms of taking the site. C hasn't really worked out for them. B a couple of times, you know, they squeezed. See the plant out on the pistol, and then the second hit was very successful there. But now the response from Futbolists now is the first time they're exploring any sort of presence down long. So maybe Futbolists trying to counteract that aggression. Magoo jumps up, finds existence in mid with the Blade Storm. Now he's got to play his life. He's got to stay alive here.
Yeah, let's see what he does with this, though. I want to see what NIP do. They've lost the kind of leading voice, but still plenty of approach to be had.
Oh, no.
Kriya. Nice. Really nice work from Kriya. Magoo's gone. That's got to be B. Now, at least with the plant available, I don't know if anyone's got utility to stop it. Futbolist does have the ultimate available. There it goes. Going to be at least denying. Not much. The spike's already down.
A little late.
Yeah.
A little late on that one.
I'm not sure if I love that. Sasuke with a good trade, though. But now Rhyme's going to have to try and play the timing so well. You can see the flank coming in. Red like a book. Rhyme's on it today as Sasuke now put into a dire scenario. And oh yeah, you can see it all crumbling down. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, interesting use there. The orbital strike again. either use it to cancel the plant or go for that kill. You know, after halfway through the plant comes down, you know, you can almost guarantee that kill. But I mean, the secondary use of it really is once the spike goes down, you know that they're going to try and hop back out to mid. So placing it in a way that it forces them into an awkward angle out into the open or something like that on site. But not really achieving either from the orbital strike there. So, I mean, at that point, don't use it to cancel the plant. Use it in the retake.
Yeah, it's one of the two, right? You can't. That's what happens.
Yeah, you
when
can't have best of both
between.
worlds.
Exactly. The double swing towards C-Long there, you can see almost 3 players facing that. I think Sova was behind the Omen and the Raze that we saw. Rhyme a little further ahead, posted up. Now, I wonder if they get lulled into any sense of security here. A little bit, but... Oh, wait, whoa. Mark just got caught off guard. I thought he'd already noted that Rhyme was ahead of that smoke. Maybe unawares, and there's the response. Magu's going to push out down towards A-Long, but gets caught again. NIP finding picks on both sides of the map now.
Just perfectly set up for that. Heavy presence shown on one side. Magoo looks out on the other side, and Korea just perfectly positioned to clean up that kill, just removing that threat.
Chihuahua trying to punish any sloppy rotations. It does mean that Sasuke gets past because you can't actively peek it the whole time, but we'll be holding mid here. They've conditioned them to have to worry about this late in the game B hit that's been coming out. It is going to be an A take, but it's quite late in the day. 30 seconds, things could go wrong.
30 seconds
Only one
left.
ultimate available this time for Futbolist, so it won't be anything to deny the plant at least.
I won't near, and again, Futbolist only really with the neural theft. Sturban, one flash left. NIP have the rolling thunder. It's not looking good right now. The wallbang comes through. A mod stuck over at the entry of B. Worried about that lurk from Chihuahua. So, all but done here, unless mod shows us some miracles, I'll be honest. Doesn't even find the first. JD shuts that one down. A 7-5 half for NIP. Really impressive what I've seen them on the attacking half here. And I mean, if it sends anything to go by, Haven is one where we know those defensive executes, that aggression can go. I mean, it can spiral out of control so quickly if it goes unchecked.
But would they do it? I don't know.
I want to see it look great on a set. I want to see them do it.
Same. I mean, there is the risk that if, let's say, Futbolist come into this with that, like, we go all in, we just, you know, hammer a site with, they play, like, not necessarily one-dimensional, but very clear-cut approaches to their attack. I think defensive side aggression can be hard to handle or kind of make work against that, because you could always be late and out of position and not in favorable fights. But I will always be a fan of well-placed defensive side aggression. I think it's one of the best things in the game if done well.
Again, the other problem being, and I mean, G2 for me is the one I always go back to, is how effective they were on Haven at showing what you can do if you take a little bit of control, a little bit of territory on defense. The problem is on Haven, it's a very unforgiving map. If you give anything away too early in the round, again, the mind games, the baiting out, the fakes, you know, rotation is such a huge factor here for the defensive side on Haven that it can become a bit sloppy if you kind of play into that game.
Okay, well, let's have a little look how this starts. Pistol could be quite important. If NIP win it, you'd imagine maybe 9 could be on the board. If Futbolists get it, right back all even, I feel. For now, though, early information trying to be garnered, nothing too much found. But look at this stack towards Garage there. That's a 3-play stack towards Garage waiting to receive. Sova was kind of tasked with keeping much into control, as Sasuke will clear short towards A. That's going to be information received. And JD's playing very deep, so that kind of indicates happy to give up the site, but wants to control some portions. And again, this could be information now. Ooh, does a bit of damage off the back of it too. Not bad. See if anyone else wants to approach. Korea, the first to consider. And surely they've got to know now the site hit's going to be coming in. This has to be a retake.
Yeah, as you can see how heavy they were over towards Garrett and C. JE straight up into heaven. Stop any madness, I guess, from Magoo getting up there. Again, comes down now. Rhyme all the way back through towards A Garden now. He has his paint shells still. Got to be careful of Mod. She's holding on to sewers right now. And As I say that, they lose his head for it. Korea now, paranoia goes through. Here comes the retake from NIP.
Yeah, getting Magu out of this corner is going to be a problem. And you can see as to why. He takes contact on one, gets another. Magu is buying time.
So clean.
And buying them around. Beautiful work from Futbolist there. Managing to, I guess in a weird way, it was a gamble from NIP. But Futbolist played that very well in that post bomb. That to me was more impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, again. And then, you know, A-Site's one of those ones where the crossfires become so crucial. If you have that time to set up, get the spike down comfortably, you can still do it whilst, you know, the smokes are down, covering over defensive spawn and heaven. As soon as you get into that crossfire on Hell and Graffiti, it becomes so difficult, even with the paranoia. I mean, if you've still got utility there, you just counter that. The paranoia comes through. The breach flash buys so much time there, they can't capitalize on it.
You're right. And it looks like a little bit more of a, I don't want to say aggressive stance. It's not necessarily aggressive. It's a bit of a lean. Two players posted up towards long. A bit of a trade comes out. And it's a 2-for-1 right now. NIP not going to be in the best position here.
And trades back and forth, actually 2-for-1 in favor of Futbolist, so they find themselves in a 4v3 now, swinging back over towards C, because that's where they found both of those kills. Rhyme, Bucky in hand, in the garage, but hey, I'm a Bucky fan.
Bucky's great, dude.
Big Bucker.
And there you go, you get at least one for it, okay? That's the fun you get to have. Outside of that, though, Spike will plant. It is a 3v2. The other two trying to play this back in. One isolated towards the defensive side spawn, the other kind of coming up C long. The Sheriff, you need a clean kill here. This would have to be untradeable, which is going to be hard. Look at these post plants, but he gets it. Checks the corner. Did he? He gave it a look. He definitely considered. Oh, this is unreal from JD. He's made this round possible, but now Existence has to go forward. Just a classic, no armor, nothing left to play with. The clock now ticking. He has to win this fight, and the timing is everything. And he can't make it work. Sasuke holds on for dear life as that almost fell to pieces.
A lot of damage done, though. A lot of damage done.
Yang baru mampir.
And again, we talk about that bonus round now, with one person surviving. It's not really a factor there. I mean, look at the money right now. This buy back in from Futbolist, expecting the operator to come onto Magoo potentially, unless he goes with the rifle. We know that on split, he did like to flex onto that operator. There you go, forces it up with the light armor.
All right, 7-7. We're back all even. Futbolist showing resilience here. NIP on the receiving end of touch, but the economy, of course, evaded them there. And now we see the aggression coming out, at least somewhat. Now, this will have to cause utility to be committed towards A-Long to take this back. Just the fact that Existence is showing pressure. If you're a CS fan, imagine Banana on Inferno. Very similar scenes to be seen, and I'm sure he'll see it that way as well, knowing that now they have to fight back and commit all that utility to re-clear A-Long.
Yeah, nobody actually from Futbolist flexing out anywhere else on the map, so you see now Existence looking to re-aggress back into lobby here, but nothing really being given up, to be honest with you. Now this smoke, oh my god,
This could be
he's tucked in this corner. If they don't clear, this is going to be disgusting. They do actually finds the first, but a 2-for-1 trade in favor of NIP. Sturban the only one to find. One Modge now does respond. Magoo finds himself all the way up onto site, actually, but JD finds him.
Yeah, maybe trying to play off that momentum and catch the timing just right. However, we have to look across the map now. What's left? Korea becomes a pivotal piece. His patience is going to be everything, excuse me. Does he hear, what I want to say was, does he hear anything beside him? If they made a sound cue, way easier. They don't.
Oh my God.
They keep it
They can
super
creep back
quiet. This is, but look at the time. They've only got like 10 seconds. They've got to start moving. If they wanted that, they can't. You're going to see at least the plant coming in. 8 seconds. He was just considering getting off the spike plant and just a couple of seconds away from it. But Korea's positioning is huge. They've been funneled. The position is noted. They know that site's clear now. They can aggress on and clear as they go. Sasuke is going to have to do some big damage. Can't achieve it this time. Rhyme is right there. And now just Modge left alive. A 1v3 is a tall task.
Yeah, crucial there as well. Sasuke gets another kill. He would have had done to Fury up, and he could have backed all the way onto A side. So that's why he was being a little bit aggressive, Just looking for that early peak there, and unfortunately Mod's down to very, very low HP. No utility down on site. Obviously didn't want to give away any sound cues, as he said. Couldn't put a cam down. No information gathered on that. That's why he was looking for that pick. So unfortunate there, but I mean, Spike Plant comes through. Little bit of a financial bonus for that, but Futbolist back down to pistols and light armor now.
So this is a swing. Once we got those bigger buy rounds out, we're going to see NIP at least stabilize for now. A bit of damage done over towards A long, but beyond that, we're going to have to see what else can come from this. Moj looking for an opportunity to present itself, but there we go. Spots out one, but Korea just showing the movement off a touch. But we still have another player there to support. But keep in mind, Futbolists don't have obviously the best buy here, so going to be a little bit trickier. Mark looking for any opportunities to be given, and I feel as though they're not going to get much.
No, I expect NIP to just hold on to this one with everything they've got. Don't want to give an opportunity away, take a scrappy 1v1 anywhere. As I say, that Trower swings out. Again, just baited a little bit by the player at the front of B. Korea now himself a couple of enemies to deal with. Let's find the first time Magoo falls. Futbolists now find themselves in a 3v5 on this eco round. They can't find a way into C-side.
Player standing.
No, and for NIP, this has to be kept clean. This has to be one of those that really can't be made dangerous.
30 seconds left.
Garden.
Flawless.
Feel as though we might be out of sync there, because I saw nothing interesting when you made that noise.
That's just a noise I make.
Oh, is that just
just every
a
so
general?
often.
Got it. Okay, no worries. Just wondering. Didn't know. But,
Didn't have to put me on blast like that. Wow.
Well, I was worried. I was out of sync with you. You just got excited, and I didn't see anything. I mean, I'm the play-by-play caster. I get overly excited when nothing happens. Don't you know how our roles work? God, 7 to 9.
I'll revert back to grey boring for the rest of the map.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And something that's not boring is this mid-take coming out from NIP. 3 players just powered down middle, and no one was facing this. So they've just kind of taken space, backed away, and gone, that's a bit weird.
You see now, JD's still aware of that. Again, based off that information, they can swing back, but Existence gives away a bit of a sloppy peep there. Magoo going to capitalize on that one.
Hello,
So Futbolist will find entry here on A site. Keep an eye on the minimap, because Korea getting to where he's at means that NIP can do what they're doing, which is stack 3 on A site. Again, that early mid control, the camera's down, the trap wire's down. They're going to have all this information. They know that they can sit here and wait Futbolist out. That's the camera I was talking about. Chihuahua capitalizing off that mid aggression early on. That's what you want to see your Cypher doing, not necessarily just using all that utility for site control. It's the early information, this rotation, that they're going to benefit from.
Oh, it's going to be huge. I mean, this used a little bit later in this round. Now after that coming in, yeah, there you go. 2 players now noted. Korea gets one. Oh, Korea, so snappy. The man's now got the bomb under wraps. He's just going to lock that one out. That spike is not going to be held back in. He even goes for a bit more. The man's feeling a little frisky. Falls away finally, but by now, look at this. Still buying time. That Cypher's so isolated. Sasuke breaks back in. And there's still danger to be had, but Rhymes having none of it.
10 seconds left.
Yep, 1 man left now for Futbolist. Rhyme cleans it up. Again, by the time they were able to retrieve that spike after Korea picks up 2, it was 13 seconds left, so they have to run it down C long. They have to. And NIP find a 10th now, 10-7 on Haven here. And Nip looking really, really good. The way they're able to swing back onto either side. I'm talking about A and C here after that mid-aggression. Again, I talked about it being unforgiving, but a team that's able to capitalize on that map control the way that NIP have done, it makes it so difficult for Futbolists to put anything together.
Yeah, no, I 100% get that. Tactical pause coming out for Futbolists this time. Probably a good time to do it. You win the pistol. The run of 3 comes in on the gun rounds. This is where you need to find a bit of an answer to what NIP have been doing to you. Rhyme's certainly having a great game, and again, this is something I like to see is kind of having your heavy hitters doing their job. It's very much a role thing, and seeing them doing well. Korea having a good performance here too. Excellent. But beyond that, NIP have been playing a nice CT or defensive-sided game, if I'm honest. I feel like they've been quite proactive in moments. I like how they do it. I liked what we saw in that previous with that mid-aggression, just to facilitate that camera positioning for that late-game call. A really good read, and of course, the money here, not ideal for Futbolist. They do have the ultimate to supplement though, so Magoo could do some work. But Magoo, he was such a highlight in map 1. I want that guy back.
He's been quiet.
He's been quiet.
It's definitely fair to say, as Futbolist now looking to aggress onto B site. Gonna get the spike down here. Magoo investing his smokes to make sure that happens. Sturban able to get back away, and this is where the plant on B become. It's going to be difficult for them because they have to retake mid first, then the side. Look at this now, Modge with the aggression, the flashes. So brutal. Korea does find the first one. Showstopper invested. That's 2 kills for NIP now, half the job done.
Yeah, but look at this, Magoo still there. The ultimate comes out. They're buying time here. I don't think that NIP can do this in the time left remaining. You can see everything. Yeah, they are buying time like champions. JD's going to do some work, sure, but time is everything. No defuse in sight. They're going to try the best they can, but it's not good enough. And the sheriff comes to town and says, no, Mark is going to keep this one under wraps. Futbolist find an answer back in a round that they probably shouldn't have.
No, absolutely. And again, the important factor there, NIP have to retake mid. They have to retake mid before they can do anything else there. And Mark being the last man standing is, you know, back to the bread and butter method, to be honest with you, where we saw Brimstone always play the ultimate, play the molly. Again, just textbook stuff there. Able to buy enough time where it literally makes the defuse impossible. Doesn't matter how many smokes you put down. Like, again, that aggression towards Garage stops the push onto window.
Okay, Korea. Yeah, that time they got tested. Finally, they got brought back on towards a long investment coming out from the breach to try and deny a quicker play coming in off the back of it, and it does allow at least a rotation to come in. But that spike isn't really committed towards this A-hit just yet. They're still holding the line.
Well, yeah, Futbolists actually get that opening, and they're happy to sit back and really maybe a bit of a premature ultimate there. Yes, it stops the push, but JD's not really capitalized on any sort of ground control here. He's still tucked in sewers. Now he's looking for something towards lobby. But again, maybe just a little bit out of sync there, which, you know, for NIP is surprising considering what we've seen in the previous maps is how well timed they were with the utility and ultimate usage. Now Futbolist exploring A-long once again. And actually, this is a point now. JD, the fact that he's tucked this side of sewer could be a factor here. Let's find the first mark will fall now, but Modge stacked up with him means that he can trade that.
Yeah, but look at existence straight in ahead of maybe when they expected, but no. Magoo and Sturman perfectly in place, and yes, Chihuahua did a bit of damage, but by then Sasuke held the line. And another great round, and after that tactical timeout came in, this has been a perfect response, I feel, from Futbolist.
Yeah, good stuff. It's really cancelling out the ultimate usage there. Again, you know, depends how you want to use it. Breach is a fantastic ultimate to have, obviously, to deny the plant in a retake situation. Very versatile in that side, but right there, used to obviously stop that rush onto JD. But like I said, it's weird to not see them kind of capitalize off that. JD's still in that position, but it becomes a one and done spot. Because they're stacked up, Modge and Mark gets traded out immediately. Another attack pause coming through, and again, this scoreline back to a little bit worrying. If you're a NIP fan.
If you're newer to maybe FPS esports games, or if you're just kind of tuning in, as much as we've liked the look of NIP, I think all of us are a little reserved because we know they are still relatively new to this exact roster. Now, what that means is that depth is going to be somewhat lacking. I don't know how much adaptation they can go to yet. How many levels do they have to look into here? How many more looks can they bring out? I feel Kriya's been incredibly pivotal, but if he gets denied, if they work this out, it gets trickier. Maybe that mid answer is going to come out again. It looks like they're at least sending 2 players down middle. That keeps them safe. It bouncing just a little bit beyond, so they should be somewhat okay there. And they're going to post up Rhyme, it looks like, this time, so a little bit of a switcheroo.
Yeah, Rhyme getting into that rabbit cubby outside B usually means somebody can swing away from holding on to sight. Actually, now they go hunting down mid here. Ryan all the way down to 5 HP. Does get traded out by Sasuke. Kriya a little bit lagging behind on the trade, but finds the killing window now. JD investing the Hunter's Fury all the way back over towards. Does get the tag, but no kill comes through. Mark expecting a little bit of a push back, but doesn't find anything just yet. Numbers advantage for NIP, so they just need to sit and hold it. They need to force the plant out. Again, wait for Futbolist to make a move. The drone gonna actually tag to our Spectre in hand. Doesn't want to swing on that one.
Nah, didn't fancy it. Timing gonna give away at least to Sasuke existence that he needs to be well and truly ready for what's coming his way. Needs to be careful here. Very aware of the kind of short push coming in from A. He seems almost overly committed. Just like classic coming out. Still finds it. What?
Okay, they had absolutely no business holding on to A side with the classic there. Existence, the last man. Well, I'd say the last man standing, actually the only man on A site there, but stays alive long enough and still finds the kill. That's a big round for Futbolist to fumble. I'm not gonna lie, because look at the money now. Look at the money. Look at the ultimates. Look at the round score.
But the answer there felt scary. The answer that came out from NIP was to fight mid, which I feel it's a coin toss. I mean, you can have faith in your players, but it's scary. Oh, is Magoo going to go for a fight on towards Kriya here? This is going to be an early one, and it's a deadly one too. Magoo going to find Kriya, who's been the game changer for NIP. Now this could be 10 on the board for Futbolist. If they go off the back of this, there's still players present though. Chihuahua's there, Ryan's there. The absolute bloodbath begins towards Garage.
And that flash completely negated by Chihuahua's positioning. Neural theft comes through. Magoo, operator in hand, camera to deal with, drone to deal with. The swing comes through. He finds Chihuahua. Now, again, definitely not out of the realms of possibility, but look at the minimap. Look who's found their way all the way into the attacker's spawn here. Spike down in Garage. It's rough. It's rough. He's got to find another kill quickly to get out of this position.
Yeah, none of these kills are quick pickups either. They're all tradable so far. Gonna be a little cautious on that. Yeah. Easy now. Magoo still trying to work forward. The barrel will give it away soon enough. And Rhyme, very well played. This was, they got a pick. I don't mind the explosive start off the back of it, but it felt a little haphazard. It felt just run in and hope there's no one in Garage.
I think with that aggression from Kriya, maybe they've read into that. You know, when Kriya does this, you know, they put it back over towards the other side. But Rhyme and Chihuahua just holding the line in Garage there. And those first 2 kills for NIP in response to the first one are absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Because again, you know, you could say any other team would expect, you know, they get that pick on C-Long. Maybe there's 2 players stacked up and, you know, they're going to rush C-Long. But nobody really giving anything away here. Magoo does find first blood once again. Showstopper doesn't find anything from Rhyme. Kriya now posted with an operator on A long. This is do or die now for Futbolist. And Pyjamas find themselves on map point here. I'm going to be honest, they've looked in control of the defensive side. Really in control.
I feel like to me they found answers, and that to me is such a great indicator for this team in the long run, is that they found answers, because Futbolists have really had quite a nice approach. It hasn't been bad at all. However, NIP finding creative answers, those mid pushes, this time unable to do this. Very deep hold coming out this time. You can see Existence all the way tucked in deep towards the back of B. It looks like a B hit's going to be coming through. At least those smokes indicate something towards that end. Already Moshe's found Chihuahua. Sasuke towards Rhyme, and now it's going to be Existence. Back to the wall, comes out swinging with 2. Flash goes in, he wants more. He's going to get more. That's 3. The man's putting on a clinic right now. Where's the rest of his team though? Omen just about makes it. Kriya comes over. Smoke goes up, and he's got the op. He's got to hold the line. If that defuse wants to come through, Kriya has to change the game, but that ultimate isn't in the wall in front of him. It's pretty far behind. Another smoke comes in. He's trying to buy the time to allow that defuse to once again come defuse out. They've got the pick on Moj, but the timing's going to be a huge factor. Sasuke's still standing. He has to save the day for Futballer, but now down to the 1v1. Timing is everything, and the timing has dwindled away. Well played, Sasuke, but Existence almost did that himself.
Sasuke.
Fantastic stuff there on both sides of the board, to be honest with you. Like you said, Existence just putting in work for NIP. Sasuke playing so deep with the Hunter's Fury, able to run the clock down there, and I love the little bait peek. The little bait peek just to get him off the spike there.
Mantap, bro.
Really, really good stuff. Not out of it just yet. 12-10 now. Again, economically not looking great for NIP. But they are on map point, which means they have got the opportunity to just buy this out until it ends.
Yeah, I mean, that last round technically should have been way cleaner for Futbolist, but I mean, when you have Existence doing that, no worries. For now, though, that's going to be a confidence booster for sure towards NIP, even with the round loss. You see your captain pull that off, you're like, all right, well, I guess we gotta do a bit better here.
Don't worry.
JD, though, going to try and find some information down on towards A-Long.
Thank you.
Not too much to garner from it, a little bit, but you're going to see a commitment of touches of utility here and there. Magoo going to give away a bit of the game. You can see more utility committed now. They have 3 players ready to fight this for the first time in IP.
Sentinels baru mabar.
Indeed, and again, after the early utility shot, the important thing is Rhyme's not giving himself away here, so it's only 2 lots of utility. So Futbolist again, maybe trying to react off this information. They're calling out 2 members on A. Rhyme's there to kind of play a cheeky spot and hide it out. Now you can see actually Futbolist looking to explore back towards B there. The ultimate from Korea. Was that from Korea? It was, yeah. It must have been from Korea. Cancelled out on C Long, but here we go. As I said, Futbolist now back over towards B side.
30 seconds left.
And they can split towards A, it looks like. It looks like the kind of 2-3 wrap, but it does mean there's still a fight to be had. Yeah, but there's awareness here. They still haven't quite broken through, and timing's going to be everything. Moj is still going to work the way in. Yeah, you go. You're going to see it right now. Existence knows this. He knows everything you're doing. He is living in your heads rent-free. And right now, NIP are on the verge of closing this one out. Just one man Mark in their way. And a 1v3 is unlikely as it seems. 5 seconds left. NIP close it out. We have more maps awaiting, though. NIP do take it a 2-1 for now, but more to come after the break.
Well played, anime baru terakhir apa tonton? Local region. Iya, local region terakhir. Nggak di-update ini dia. Nggak ngupdate dia, bro. Perhatian, baca sebelum bermain. Sensitif cahaya atau serangan epilepsi. Si Sky apa kabar? Nuing si Sky mah. Nuing.
Match found.
Match found.
Wherever they run, I will find them.
Spike rush.
I remember the machines Killjoy made. What they did to... Never mind. It does not matter.
B.
Decoy. Scanning ahead. Found
Enemy
them.
here. Zakoga. Cutting stun.
Quiet now.
Running.
Deploying drone.
Heal. Go set. B, bro.
Scanning ahead.
30 seconds left.
Plan, bro.
Spike planted.
Shock dart.
Enemy spotted.
Last player standing.
That Raze has some good inventories. We'd love to pick them apart. Blow something up.
Main bro, main. Hanifan, mabar besok. Ke Discord aja bro, kasih tahu.
Cutting their vision.
Revealing area.
Reload.
Found them.
Gila pakai pistol. Mantap. Ke Discord bro, set. Langsung mabar kita. Buat tiap hari sih bro.
One enemy remaining.
My ult's ready. That is a
Thanks,
good
thanks.
look for you.
Last round before the switch.
Let us take the lead here.
I've got your trail.
Revealing area.
Aduh, goblok.
Sky's out!
Mantap.
Fire in the hole!
One enemy remaining.
Bantu bang. Sip, thank you. Best bro, best.
Bomb buddy out.
Thirty seconds left.
Belum main kan?
Still in sight. Ten seconds left.
Planting A.
Spike planted.
Iya, planting A.
Halo mas.
Halo bro.
Last player standing.
Halo bro. Subscribe bang Yoru subscribe.
Subscribe apa bang?
YouTube gua bang. Come on bro.
YouTuber bang.
Subscribe aja bang.
Like you could stop me.
Oke bang.
Namanya siapa?
Itu bang.
We are
Switching
strong
sides.
because we are together. Don't forget that.
Kapan lagi gua promosi? Bantu Bang Yoru.
Scanning ahead. Take flight.
Subscribe Bang.
Enemy mark.
My ult's ready.
Aku mati.
I'll handle this.
Revealing area. There they are.
Last player standing.
Aduh, jauh kali bomnya. Jangan ngeplan jauh, susah aku ngejarnya.
Bukan saya.
Oh, Bang Yoru udah di subscribe Bang. Subscribe Bang. Karena subscribe itu gratis Bang.
Scanning ahead. Take flight. Enemy mark.
Anyone else?
Taken out. Shock dart. My ult is ready.
Reloading.
I am the hunter.
Still in sight. Reload. Fire in the hole! My ult's ready.
Thirty seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Makasih Bang. Go.
Last player standing.
Goblok. Lah,
Itu dia.
apa Bang? Apa Bang?
Enggak ngomong sama si Jets.
Nggak bisa itu grafis mah, anjing. Series tadi ngapain lah? Aduh, selamat pagi dunia tipu-tipu.
Match point.
Pick something nice to kill them with. It's the least we can do.
Bomb buddy out.
Revealing area.
I'll handle this.
Enemy spotted. Satchel out. Planted. Enemy spotted. My ult's ready. Ouch!
Scanning ahead.
Wall raised.
One enemy remaining.
I've survived much worse than you. Shock dart.
Sudden death.
Sudden death.
Together.
Revealing area.
Time to jump.
Shock dart.
Satchel out.
Nice, Yoru.
Still in sight. Adios.
One enemy remaining.
Spike planted.
Reloading.
Scanning ahead.
Attackers win.
Makasih bang.
I'm so proud.
And about, here we go. It's not who we expected either. Well, I guess the theory was there, right, Hypok? It was, okay, if it comes out, maybe existence, maybe, but he likes that flasher. But, Sturban on the Viper, what do we make of it, Hypok?
I mean, I always love to see it. Mitch has
Thank
completely
you,
converted me now. I am a Viper fanboy, it's safe to say. So,
Thank you, bro.
obviously looking for some strong post-plant setups.
Nonton lagi bro kita bro.
Coming out of Futbolist here. Early on, actually, the wall invested over towards B, and Spike actually going towards B main. But you can see already, look at this ground gathers already. So quickly up here. Kitchen control down, the wall blocking off that rotation as well. NIP have to make a recovery here.
Yeah, this is a mad wrap, but this is still this awkward trade out between both sides. We're still seeing the fights going down. The Spike carrier's gone down as well. This is madness from both sides. The intention was there, the theory was there, but the execution, they can't make it work. Futbolist did get Chihuahua from the grave, but still the man stands Rhyme, and it was going to be NIP to pick up the first. What a pacey piece from Futbolist, though. They just absolutely threw themselves at this.
Yeah, apologies. That round all but ran away with itself, to be honest with you. They were straight in kitchen there. Loved the aggression early on. Again, you can argue as well, Viper works in a similar way to Brimstone versus the Omen. You've got to make sure you're capitalizing on the time that Viper utility's up. The wall and obviously the smoke in essence. So no real value gained off it immediately. But I mean, it came down to the 2v1, so lots of kills on either side of the board here. This time around, a much slower approach from Futbolist over towards the A site. Only one member here. JD's walled off front side now to buy himself a little bit of time for rotations. Couple of NIP players drifting through mid, so all the information going to go over to them. Everybody stacked up over on this side.
Yeah, so far not much subtlety to the plays. The Viper wall kind of giving away exactly where they intend to go. JD's in a really nice position, but not clean on the kill. Does manage to back away, the bonus of being Sage, I guess, but there's the trade eventually coming
2v2.
through. Yeah, this has gone incredibly close, incredibly fast, but there you go. Ryan's going to be the kind of safety net in this one, and more than that, even claiming another on the way down. So yes, it was a little close, a little scrappy there, but NIP do manage to survive.
Yeah, tough there as well, because Chihuahua actually invested the Phantom back into that one, and they don't retrieve the weapon. Both members of NIP only holding on to the Spectres, so Chihuahua now back onto the Frenzy. And again, this is, I know Banks was talking about it, I mentioned in the previous map as well, this is that bonus round again here, but JD fully invested in this one. Rhyme gonna opt for the Vandal as well, so economy a little bit split right now. So a big round for NIP to win here. Magoo actually gonna find Korea straight away, first blood in favor of Futbolist. So NIP down to 4. Let's see if they pivot back over, and let's see how Futbolist try and capitalize from this.
Yeah, Sturban pretty far ahead now as well, making decent progress towards A. Spike not too far behind as well, and they still have a decent lurk going on here too. This doesn't have to be a full commit yet from Futbolist. They've got a good pick though, so I guess you want to lean into it a little. But the moment, you're seeing that kind of slower, more meticulous play. I like that from Futbolist, not just to kind of throw themselves at the site.
Again, first blood for them. Maybe bait out a little rotation, catch a kill in mid or whatnot, but you can see one member, Futbolist, all the way back over in spawn still. He's aware of that. The wall comes up now. It splits A site completely in half, and everybody on NIP on the left side of that wall. But except for JD, going to swing through with the Spectre. Actually going to find Sturban on the way in. Mark will fall as well, so he's done huge from that position. Look at that cleanup from NIP. That was fantastic.
Yeah, they knew those choice points and the kind of pressure points of the A site. Kind of, I always put that Wardell corner on towards A, that very far little tucked in position. As soon as they crested around that, you just had this line of NIP being fully aware of where they had to truly take to be able to get that spike down and actually manage to make anything count. Now, for Futbolists, of course, they're going to suffer here on the economy. We thought this could have been the round where they could really punish NIP, that previous, where you saw the money was a little bit here and there. It certainly wasn't perfect. But them managing to stick the landing creates a lovely position. Is this going to be aggression coming out from Rhyme? It looks as though he's going to be very proactive. Breach by his side, that's Existence working down as well, ensuring safety. Going to post up here, get to position. He can stick this out and hold if he wants to. I wonder how far he wants to take this.
Again, Football is still wary of that mid push. They got one member back there controlling the flanks. Killjoy would expect that. Turret goes down. Mark loses it immediately, actually, but the hit comes through on A in the meantime. As soon as that presence is shown, this time around, JD got the wall down. He's going to get himself tucked behind server here. Again, looking to pick up some more kills. The first one actually evades him. Second one comes through, finds that one, no problems at all.
Yeah, Sturban going to try and keep this progressing correctly at least, but with the spike let loose, they at least know the intention completely. However, Chihuahua's kind of committed here to a line where he can't back away from, and Mugu's going to go and found the frag. So for now, Existence called upon, and the chips are looking a little bit down. This is a little rougher than they'd like. There goes the ultimate pop to the perfect time. Mugu maybe doing the damage this time around. We saw the excellence on the first map. Then it became quiet after that. But suddenly they retreat. They've got 30 seconds. They can make this count. They can get to B. They can do this. Really nice adjustment. I love that.
Both ultimates on the board as well, and that's important here for Futbolists, because you can see NIP still over towards the A site right now. And actually, Rhyme down below half HP. Kree a little bit tagged up as well. So look for Mugu to make something happen off of this Blade Storm. But the showstopper's in the back pocket just in case.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh, okay, Korea still kept this interesting. I thought this was all but over. There's that ultimate pop. You noted they both had it up, and we already saw the damage Mugu managed to create. However, Sasuke denies one angle, but Korea finds another, looks for the way in, gets attacked, but not the frag, and time's being bought here. Great work from the Rays on the other side, just buying time, and time is of the essence, and what a round to turn it on. Already Sasuke gonna grab the gun, get out there, but it's the round on the board that matters.
Really, really good composure there shown from Sasuke, just kiting away long enough, running the clock down, playing his life effectively. Really, really impressive round there. Again, just such a quick reaction based off the information they were given. Again, both ultimates being available. I love that, not being afraid to invest them to convert that round, because it's a big win for them, a really big win.
This makes it a little bit more feasible. When you come in, when you pick an icebox, when there's still a map left and you pick this map, it's showing that you've certainly put your work in, or you'd hope to, right? You've got to make a statement if this is a map you're going to actively go towards. Showing Mugu knows the lines to work with. Oh, there's trouble aplenty. Chihuahua put down. Unfortunate, such a cute little player, but not today. Sasuke still making progress as well. This is nice. So considering they have now attention drawn on both sides of the map, this is a problem. NIP need to make their minds up. Where do they go with this? What do they do? They've had a pick happen to them over at B. They've got the Viper Wall and a Raze showing attention towards A. They have no idea where to go with this.
Yeah, Rhyme actually going to invest the Hunter's Fury, missed the second, but finds the third tag onto Sturban. But maybe that's a little bit of a bait here, because that kill going over to NIP, you can see now Rhyme unsure of whether or not to leave Boiler and help out his two teammates on A site. Meanwhile, Futbolist looking to give Korea some problems back over here. I'm not sure if Korea just caught sight of somebody crossing to yellow. The spike now encroaching.
Oh, the timing!
Oh, now he can post up with it. Look at that. Magoo finds that kill.
Left.
Yeah, once he had that angle, I feel like Korea's timing was pretty unfortunate, if I'm honest. And Existence just found 2 out of nowhere. I have no idea which line of sight he just created to be able to claim those frags, but he's made this feasible. And Ryan then comes online at the right time. Moja has to do something big here. We've already seen great individual play, but the timing and its Existence again. This man is putting up numbers for his team.
Yeah, 3 on the round for him. Again, wasn't pretty. They get the win out. 4-1 now for NIP. But again, I love the reaction from Futbolist. Just again, kind of baiting that contact, waiting for that rotation, and then Mark, I mean, he was sat with the spike all the way back in spawn for the entirety there. And then as soon as that contact comes through, Hunter's Fury thrown out, they get the kill. I mean, Rhyme didn't get any more information from that. There was no recon. It was just the tags he was acting off from his ultimate. But again, maybe just baiting out a little bit of NIP towards A side. But it worked enough. They got the spike down. Unfortunately, things fell apart there. But, I mean, Existence picking up 3. You can't really account for that.
No, and I don't even know where he did it from either. I mean, he's created that space for himself. Otherwise, that was a Futbolist round every day of the week, I feel. I think it was, you know, very fortunate for him to do that. The way the round was playing out, this scoreline doesn't really show how close this has been. Already a bit of a trade out over towards B long, that massive exchange, and it should be favorable towards the rifles, of course, but Sturban's being a problem. He's being a real nuisance to them.
The spike.
No. Ooh.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh no, the timing on the switch. Terribly unfortunate. Magoo's still trying to do some work at 1v2. Half HP is the problem. And the spike's positioning is going to be brutal. Let's see what Magoo can do. I mean, roll it back to map 1. I'd have honestly believed that this was very, very feasible. Now, I'm not so sure. Looking for an opportunity on 1, and he's not being given much. And you can see even the late round utility being utilized. I like that. Ensuring safety. There's still danger aplenty though here, Hypot.
He's still got the paranoia as well. I think Korea looked like he was just prepping that. Magoo, if he does get this kill, he's going to get his dash reset. I don't know if it'll become a factor or not. Ooh, does find the first. Actually, Korea gets caught off guard there, but Rhyme luckily cleans it up with the Spectre. I think Rhyme obviously trying to bait a little bit for the rifle of Korea in that situation. But Magoo... NT from Magoo, I'm not gonna lie. I
feel like every one of these rounds for Futbolist has been a nice try.
Yeah.
Like they've been so close in so many rounds, and they've been bailed out, or NIP have been bailed out by some really good individual player here and there. But I mean, Futbolist overall, this scoreline is really not showing how close this game is. The money certainly is. It's close to breaking point for NIP, but they're holding on. And it's a tactical timeout. It's for NIP this time, and I don't think that's a bad idea, because yes, they're winning the rounds, but it does feel like it's off the back of some individuals coming in, and that's perfectly fine when it works. But knowing someone like Existence, you'd want to be able to get maybe a better grip on the game, get a grip on how these rounds are kind of coming to this point, and you want to win it maybe cleaner.
It's always round 6. Always round 6 they take the tack pause in. Maybe it's just get up,
you've worked it
switch
out,
the legs, shake the hands off. Hey, I've noticed it.
The Existence magic is simply a timeout at round 6. That's it. That's all it's ever been. The man's, you know, a legend. The big brain of Counter-Strike secretly just calls 1 timeout at round 6, and that's it. Genius.
Mental warfare. That's what it is.
Can I just say, by the way, hi, whoever, like, okay, here's me ruining the illusion, but whoever it is on the Red Bull account in Twitch chat, I really like your memes. You've been really solid today. I just want to let you know, I see you, and I really like your work. You've been funny and informative. It's a really fine balance.
I flicked over. I'm going to have to type fix audio in the chat now.
You should. It'll probably help. I mean, we are casters. We'll be on it too, guys. Don't worry. We'll be in the server room pretty soon. Just trying to fix it up, of course. Caster, please fix. But for now, we jump into the game and we see, I think it's Korea here getting pretty proactive. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. Already going to get himself positioned up, posted up, gets one. Doesn't just get one, gets 2. Spots even the spike out. So this mad split that's going on has kind of all fallen to pieces. You've got these 2 players by B trying to go on that big, long lurk. But by now, they know there's a problem elsewhere. They've been able to clear enough, and they've gone, yeah, sod it. We've done well enough. Fall away from that.
Again, just all the value you can want out of First Blood to find the second kill to follow up as well. Again, now it forces the hand of Futbolist. They have to try and find something else now, but Again, the hit doesn't come through on A. NIP now. Have somebody tucked all the way at Chihuahua, all the way down tube in mid. Now Existence needs to buy a little bit of time on B. Modge actually all the way out backside of Kitchen and does find a kill. Actually, it's Existence that falls, yeah. And Sasuke finds the second as well. Here you go, Viper ult invested, and now actually they can potentially put a stranglehold down on B site.
I mean, they did incredibly well to punish those rotations, but they are still operating at a bit of a deficit. This ultimate has to really even out the balance, but they're going to have to go into Viper's world, and you know how that normally goes. Sturban's going to hold the line for now. Modge is still there, needs to find his value, can't do it. Chihuahua, quick little swing. Sturban's dead, and Korea, big round from him.
Really, really good stuff. Poetic end to the first 2 kills going in his favor. He cleans up, cancels out that Viper ultimate. Again, I mean, it's difficult, really. You're down to 2 men to hold on to B site, and at that point, it's difficult. I mean, if you both opt to play inside the Viper ult, they can just sweep and clear. As long as they surround it, they know that nobody's kind of lurking outside. You just kind of get pinched into sight, really. And again, I didn't see the utility come into effect from Sturban there, so maybe it was put into use early round. I'm not entirely sure.
Again, scoreline wise, this has been incredibly close, but 6-1 doesn't really matter at that point as much as it does look like a close game. 6-1 is quite a commanding scoreline. Now, we don't know what NIP look like on the attack. We don't know much about this look of NIP. We do know is that Magoo's normally pretty sick, but Korea's found his form. This is Korea finding some real smooth moves, and I love seeing Korea kind of showing what Omen can do. He was one of the first people to really highlight how good Omen can be. Chihuahua still present as well, very much able to do some damage here if they do show through that smoke. As soon as it comes down, but Rhymes on the flank. Look at the pinch coming in. 3 players around the back. It's a shooting gallery here. They can try and dig their heels in. They can try and fight as they want, but this is 3v1, and it's going to be 7-1.
Really, really good stuff from it. I mean, I've said it before about looking in control, but this is the most dominant they've looked on the defensive side so far. Again, Korea just putting in work. It's fantastic to see, again, without a real duelist in this composition. It's so good to see a player like Korea step up and be that early round aggression that you need from somebody that would be playing on that duelist role.
7-1. Oh, that buy is horrible to look at, isn't it? It's just like, I guess you used to call it like one of 2 things. Either the hero buy or it was a very like Russian buy is what it was called, right? That was the old CS thing. But I mean, if they can make it work somewhere, fantastic. But Ryan right now is having a game. He's feeling confident as well. You've got Korea coming online.
Flashes.
They're running rings around him. Look at that. He didn't even have to worry about Sasuke fighting back.
Again, Banks highlighted it earlier, just the timing on that, the coordination, the synergy that this roster's showing already in its early days. Spike down now in spawn. Sturban got to fall back. He does find himself a Vandal, so maybe do a little bit of damage. Korea smokes off both entrances here, allowing NIP to set up to hold on to this.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh, look at that. Finds one through it as well. Modge now retrieves the Vandal. 1v3. Finds the first. What's he got left? See if he can clutch this one out.
That spike positioning's just not
Toxic.
very pleasant, is it? Yeah. Just report them for toxicity in the game. Modge, go try and do something. I mean, every angle could potentially contain a player. You can see how paranoid he is about every single angle on this map. And as soon as he crests this corner, I don't think he gets a clean 1v1 unless he can define it somehow. Very unlikely.
I was going to say.
A kill. Yeah, no worries.
For now, though,
8-1. Yeah.
I was wondering there if he managed to actually do the silent jump up, and it looked like Korea didn't get any audio cue there. But tucked in.
Hold on. It looks like Mitchman is trying to jump in on the old flaming here in chat. Maybe try and take the high road. It might be quite tricky for you, obviously, but maybe try and be the bigger man. You know, just because he's short.
No, I got you. I was actually pausing for comedic effect there.
No, I got you. You know, don't try and dig in on people while they're down, Mitch, man. We will always call you short, don't worry. But we love Mitch, don't worry.
It's crazy when Mitch man trying to look down on somebody, isn't it?
It's quite impressive he can. At this point, 8-1. Scoreline's Not looking down, more looking up for NIP. This is quite the statement. I honestly, I didn't expect to see this scoreline. If you pick Icebox, I always feel like you've got to have something up your sleeve. If you pick Viper, I'm like, all right, you got something building for us. And then we see the scoreline.
Yeah, again, when somebody pulls out a Viper pick, it's like, yeah, they've done their homework. They've got some really geeky setups. We're going to see some magic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it become a factor.
Not this time. For now, though, they are putting up some decent trades, at least this time around, and it will just be JD, who's actually been a bit of a brick wall on this site, a real nuisance to get around, expecting the flex coming back in from that Viper, only spotting out Jet, but being enough of a problem to allow time for the rotation to come in. Look at that. Stunning work from JD. Isolates one, expects the next, sees Killjoy, so can call out at least, hey, they're both here, you're safe to rotate, get yourself over towards the site.
Resistance set up. Last flash goes through. The paranoia to follow through, actually, so the double blind coming through. Mark does find Kriya, though, and look at that. Swings back out. Finds Existence. So, Futbolist not backing down there, even after the utility usage. But again, weren't really close enough to capitalize on that. A consolation round at best, because that scoreline is terrifying. On Icebox in particular. Again, you know, we talked about it. Yeah. Some teams can just run away with games on attack here, and Futbolists haven't been able to find any crack in the defense of NIP.
No. A couple of individuals found some form of Mark that round did really nicely towards the end, but that's not enough to get you consistent rounds here. And I just wish we saw that map 1 Futbolist come out, because that was a team I could watch all day long. Kriya's doing them dirty, straight up the guts, no messing around, falls away, and they've got the first blood.
Now things are going to slow down as Futbolist. I mean, they've looked a little lost, especially after first blood goes in favor of NIP. They've not really known what to do. You see resetting a little bit there for the revive to come through, get 5 back on the feet. Looking like a bit of a lean towards the B site here. Lockdown invested over on A, so trying to fully sell this fake here. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, because the wall comes through, and there you go. NIP already rotating back over the showstopper. Will find Kriya. He falls at Snowman.
I'm amazed that Kriya didn't land that. I thought he adjusted far enough, but not the case. Chua's still close though. Finds one for free. Magoo's gone. A little out of position, maybe trying to make something happen to get that up in hand, but now that opens up a chance. Mark's now dead, Rhymes right there. And with that spike now ticking, they've got to make their move towards the site itself. Yes, gets the information. Now all will be revealed, and it is. Quickly, Chihuahua wants in. He wants to find the action here, but there is still a problem of Viper. That spike is going to be hard to defuse.
Yeah, actually, Futbolist find 2 there. Existence, 1 in response. Now just JD, the last man standing. Look at that, the headshot and the wall bang. Will.
It's close.
Oh, 0.01. Whoa. Oh, unfortunate there, Futbolist. The utility just buying enough time there for the spike to fully. I thought he had it. I'm not gonna lie. But they will put their 3rd on the board now. And NIP financially not looking great for this last round. A Marshall, a Bulldog, Phantom, Vandal. Let's see what Kriya forces up with.
Yeah. It's not a pretty buy for NIP, but I mean, you walk away from this game 8-4, no worries. 9-3, cool. You're happy either way at this point, I feel. When a diffuse like that is the definition and you're leading this far, you're still pretty good. And look at this, Kriya could have a pretty decent catch on the cross, but there's that Viper wall going in, denying that line of sight, and it's going to kind of put them in an instantaneous retake position. No freebies to be found here.
No, actually, yeah, no kills going up before the spike goes down. As I say that, Magoo will find Chihuahua. Modge swinging all the way past Snowman. Now there's 2 kills in favor of Futbolist. 1 response coming back, but NIP find themselves in a 2v4 now. Viper ultimate invested. This is going to be really difficult for NIP to crack through in this retake. Oh.
Nice try.
Nearly.
I mean, a valiant attempt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we take those. I mean, scoreline-wise, though, 8-4 is a pretty commanding score. We don't know what NIP look like Going forward, though, this is again question mark, but look at that run they went on. Picked up the pistol clean, ran with it. A little bit of a hiccup here and there. A couple of plants came in, but beyond that, that last run of 3 rounds is pretty much a saving grace here for Futbolist. There's still a chance, but it's going to be goddamn hard work.
It will be. And again, the pistol round is obviously something we talked about. And the fact that NIP win out that pistol round and close the half out that convincingly. Again, now with this scoreline, the pistol round for NIP is huge. Puts them straight on 9 rounds. Again, the way the economy works, we know how often a half can just slip through your fingers as soon as that pistol round's gone and they win the second. So this is kind of make or break for Futbolists now to make a push for this comeback.
All right. Magoo. Oh, that's 2? He gets 2 out of that? Okay, Korea and Existence in absolute shambles after that start. Magoo won. JD's there, gonna find at least an answer back. Sasuke still gonna be put to task. That spike's a problem, but it's not one that's completely unrecoverable. You can see them fighting for this one. More than happy to do so. War goes up, Sturban finds the flank, and we're gonna at least have a game on our hands now.
Yeah, that's big. A really, really big round for Futbolists to put up. Again, convincingly as well. You know, maybe now Magoo gonna feel he can get a little bit more aggressive on that duelist role and go unchecked. We have to see how strong NIP's attacking half is.
All SMGs coming out. Alright. I mean, it's a rough buy. Sheriffs, they ain't bad. Frenzy 2. You can see the approach from NIP. Quick and dirty. Not really getting too far with it. Not exactly the ideal gun to try and get rid of that turret, but the player at the end flashes galore, trying to clear everything out as they go. But oh dear, those paint shells aren't going to feel so great.
That's it, Magoo. Yeah, finds 2 with the Spectre there on the tube. JD though with the flank, can't find enough damage to convert that position. Rhyme now, Sheriff in hand. Trying to find something before this one's all but done.
Scanning ahead.
Have I ever told you about the 1v4 that Ryan pulls off on Icebox at 8 to 5?
You haven't, no. Tell me more.
It starts like this. Over by yellow, right? And he's surrounded. 3 players in front. Spike nowhere near. But now look what happens. Look what happens. I was trying. Like, how good would it be if that happened?
It would have, I mean, there was 2 players tagged up. He could have pulled something out of the bag.
Could have been something.
I'm still a believer.
Did you say believer?
I did. Do you not believe?
I just dribbled my water down myself. Oh no.
Mau kelima pula jadi panjang nih jam. Aduh anjir. Trum.
You have to crack a Red Bull out. This is gonna be a long day, isn't it?
You will.
What is it? It's 4:30 for me right now.
I dare you to try the red edition watermelon.
I don't have it.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got the classics.
Well, don't I feel
I used
posh?
to really like the. I know you got the fancy ones. Red Bull. What's going on? Why has he got the fancy ones? What, watermelon? Do we not have this in Germany? I live in Germany, by the way.
It's good.
Yeah, no, I'm jealous. I used to like. I think it was the yellow one that I used to, and the blue one, the blue flavor, where it's just like, you know, you used to have like those ice lollies that were just blue and you don't know what they actually were. Love that. That flavor to me, delicious. It's not a blueberry. No one's you've never tasted a blueberry that tasted like that. Who are you lying to? Give me that flavor. That's the magic. For now, we're going to need some of that NIP magic with this sort of round. They've got, well, pistols and a little bit of hope. Futbolists, though, cautious on approach. They're not overly aggressive this time around, maybe because they know they're against a couple of pistols here and there. And Rhymes actually managed to kind of worm his way around at this point. Has a little look. Can't get another, though. If he got that, that would have been a bit dangerous.
It would, yeah, but again, buying a bit of time for Existence to get in and get that spike down. As I say that, Magoo finds Chihuahua. Existence falls. Just the 2 members behind yellow now. Red IP, 3 on the round for Magoo. Cleans that one up. No problems whatsoever. Keep 4 alive as well, which is good for the economy. And that puts it to a 1-round difference here. 8-7. NIP going to be back on their full buy round now. Futbolist, I guess, with a decent response now. That's their 6th consecutive round, which is bigger than the streak that NIP were able to put on.
I mean, the believers in chat, I saw the poll that went up, like, I'd say it was like a 70-30. Shut up. It was like a 70-30 of people not believing in the comeback. Look how silly you all are now. It's almost happening. Here we go. And the buy coming out is if Futbolists actually stick this one, that'd be incredibly impressive. It's, I don't want to say unlikely, it could happen. Obviously they are outgunned at this point, so
I mean, one thing to consider.
Tricky.
One thing to consider, Icebox, I look at similar to Split, really. It's a game of momentum. If you're able to find that weak spot, especially on the attacking side, if you can abuse that and keep using it to your advantage, great. But right now, NIP can't find a way in versus Futbolist. They're able to get the spike down, but they're losing people before that post plant even becomes a factor.
Yeah, I just... Oh, that's how you do it. A flash into that work. Rhyme. I don't know who I'm more favoring, Rhyme or like Korea right now. The aim's been so sharp from both of them. Existence. There's a lot to be said about this new kind of Ninjas team that's come out. It's pretty decent, but they are in finally a favorable post plant. I feel as though they haven't really had this in a while. And now the final players coming into place, 3 kind of approaching from more a traditional angle, but you do have that flank coming out. There could be a problem. Here comes the util poured in towards the sites. JD still on the site, doesn't get checked on, gets one, gets 2, the 3rd evades. But Sasuke now going to be left with a tall task, tries to make it count. Korea says no, and the flank will find at least a little bit more damage, but the other kill surely too far away. Yeah, Korea not going to let it happen, and a big one from Korea again.
Yeah, important round for them. The first attacking round actually in their favor. So now is where, again, looking at the economy, it's not terrible for Futbolist. You know, only 1 member under 500 credits, and that's Mark. Again, we know those rounds can get expensive for the Killjoy. 600 every time if you invest your utility down. But a couple of other players still with something left to spare. So, again, early aggression back over. Korea going to TP up top. Actually, look how quickly he's trying to close down this kill on Disturb, and Modge with the counter peak though, swinging off that contact will find first blood. Now, whether or not NIP going to go for this revive. They do have the Rolling Thunder and the Resurrection. Futbolists have backed off, so it should be fairly safe. There you go, Korea back on his feet now.
All right, Korea's back up. There's still time. I think REDBULL's going to send me some delicious flavors. I've whinged about it. I've whinged about it.
Plant the seed for you. There you go.
That's how it works. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Thank you, chat, for backing me up. Thank you, Magoo, for coming back online. Chihuahua. Not loving it. And it looks like NIP could be in a bit of trouble here, considering how heavily they've invested into this B lane. Wait and see what they do with this now. Spike's not fully committed, but they're over by the cubby, so there's still a fair bit of movement that they need to create to get any further. And they've hit the brakes for a second. 30 seconds left. They still need to make this count.
They do indeed. Rhyme actually Hunter's Fury invested, which allows the rest of NIP to push up as some of these players try and reposition to avoid that damage coming through. The wall instantly negated here, and actually can't get the spike down. 15 seconds left now. And see Sturban, very low HP, doesn't want to charge that one down.
Oh, I thought they were going to do it, man. I thought they were just going to run there, try and deny, but no. Sasuke now on the other side of the wall. It's just gone down, and Peekaboo, a horrible surprise on the other side for the trade for Magoo. He keeps this still at least seemingly available. Keep your eyes on NIP here. 2 players left alive in a 2v3. The bomb's on their side. Oh, the spike denial. Rhyme just went off. That was absolute heavy hitting from Rhyme. Big play on the spike. This keeps them in this game. They've just denied that comeback run. 1 round, sure, maybe that's the answer. They've just got 2 in the row and they've made it to double digits.
Oh my word. Again, the Rolling Thunder, that's how I love to see it get used there. Obviously denies the plant. They come through the aggression. Again, the clock running down, all the Futbolists have to be stacked up. They either need to be on the spike or they need to be pushing towards yellow. So in that situation, you can literally funnel them in. Really, really good stuff from NIP there. Rhyme going massive to stop the defuse.
Just remember, if NIP win this, this is series over and done with. Look at the pace from them right now, flashing their way through, creating, forging. They're forward. They're at the back. Oh, Sasuke deletes him off the map, just sent to the Shadow Realm right now. A quick trade comes in, at least for existence. But by this point, they've just run up the guts and they've got very little for it.
Yeah, very little for it. A little bit of map control, the wall cutting off that under tube rotation, but now they need to take a step back, rethink the approach here as they find themselves in a 3v4. Resurrection in hand. JD, that's a big kill now. Brings it back down to a 3v3, even numbers apiece.
Oh, Rhyme.
He spotted
him.
Yeah,
100%. That's big info being found here. The Sage player on NIP side can at least maybe try and control an approach from this as they try and make this stick, but there's the res. They're back in an unfavorable scenario. JD still has to do more. There's the peek on towards one. That's Viper, now noted, cuts off, but there's the push. Ryan gets overwhelmed. Futbolist still holding on here.
Wow. That was back and forth though. Again, as soon as that information goes over from Rhyme, JD unfortunately not in a position to punish the revive coming through. So Mark getting back on his feet. Wow. Again, just the speed of that hit. If any other player there other than Sasuke is holding screens, they don't get those 2 kills. The Raze ultimate, the showstopper, kind of tipped the tides back into Futbolist's favor, to be honest with you, because that early map control was huge.
Okay, well they found certainly a weakness.
Same thing again.
This again. Okay, rinse and repeat. Kriya's the first one forward, attack, but no frag. Mosh somehow beats him to the punch. I guess that's the difference of weapons, and that's the difference of player. Mosh is still alive, still trying to fight the good.
The pinch is good.
For Futbolist, but you're right, the pinch is there at the right time. There's Magoo to offset again. This is still an uphill struggle for NIP. This is not a clean round again.
No, and now 2v3. No Hunter's Fury available, so can't play post plant on this. Chihuahua and Rhyme gotta hold steady here. Spectre in hand for Chihuahua. So gonna be difficult if both of these members swing at the same time from behind screens. Rhyme does have a shock dart in his recon. Chihuahua finds the first. Magoo trades it though. So now it's all on the man, Rhyme. See what he can get done here. Oh, pings one player, not the other now.
Oh, wait. He's seeing the defuse. He comes off it. Oh, Magoo again. Got it to halfway. Dips back on. Diffuses his. We are getting a throwback to map 1 from the man on your screen, Magoo.
A huge there again. The jet change with that smoke only lasts 3.5 seconds now. So makes it really, really difficult to kind of play around that. But Magoo does it absolutely perfectly. Gets the half off, swings off. Takes the 1v1, wins it out. Really, really good stuff from him, leading the pack for Futbolist now. 23 and 15, another really, really good game from him.
9 to 10, Futbolist. They don't know how to give this one up, right? Like, these guys are digging their heels in. Magoo. Ooh, position now noted. Has to be cautious with this. What does he want to do with this one? NIP's economy going to be a little bit of a problem. So this could be 10-10. We could be having an incredibly close series. Chihuahua trying to clear as they go. Does anyone feel brave this time? It looks like NIP playing a more normal approach. I like that kind of middle rush, but it really didn't quite stick how they wanted it to.
I love that though. Straight back next round. Well, they got no showstopper now, so let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do exactly the same thing again because it worked.
I mean, speaking of ultimates, 3 up right now for NIP. They've got plenty to play with. I wonder. I like this though. It's do we wait? Do we just try and make this one happen? I guess you got to see if you get maybe a good start, something to go on the right way. But for now, Sasuke still patrolling around. Paint shelter hand. 30 seconds remain. NIP keeping quite quiet about this approach, not too loud, but you can see Magoo already patrolling behind. There's going to be a fight happening there soon enough. There comes the ultimate. Kriya still trying to play with time. Sasuke's found JD, so it's going to be a spike plant now. It does get denied, so now the clock is a problem. 10 seconds left, and with Kriya, yes, popping off I don't know if they can get the spike down. This is going to be the biggest issue for them going forward.
Oh, it's on top of the box. He didn't pick it up. He tried to walk backwards in to pick it up. Spike goes down. Oh no. It was nearly doable for them. It was nearly doable for them. If they could have got that down, Magoo doesn't find that entry. Possibly. You hate to see that.
That's pretty brutal.
But you'd love to see 10-10. You'd love to see 10-10.
I mean, if you really look at this, NIP, they've been answered, right? Like, they got those 2 rounds to keep this one back going, but this has been a predominantly Futbolist response, and it's been decent. 3 in a row now. Economy's okay, 4.5 sitting on Mark. You've got, you know, Sturban, 3.2, Magoo, 2.4 after an op as well, or at least with an op now, should I say. This is not a bad place on the economy. I'm looking at NIP. What's the change here? What do you do with this now?
NIP reverting back to this B push. I'll say P push. It is B. Actually, Futbolist don't want to take contact early on. They did actually try and hold down this time. This is where we saw the revive coming on the other round. You can see actually Modge potentially reading into that mid push again from NIP, but it doesn't come through now. Drone gonna go through, clear most of sight now, but members of NIP actually drifting back over towards A.
A little bit of a fake out now. Guess it gets them a potential X on 2, considering it is Magoo and Sasuke over here, but those 2 have been incredibly good at holding this for now. You can see the utility commitment going in. This has to be them making this count. This cannot fall to the wayside. 35 seconds, they need to work on the spike, and it will be going down in the hands of Existence, and it is planted. No contested, a post-plant 5v5.
It's planted safe though, so nobody can actually play back rafters here onto that one. Magoo finds Rhyme on the way in. Flash comes back through, trying to clear out Sasuke. Modge aware of that lurk through mid now. All of the kills going in Futbolist, but Eddie and Chihuahua do respond. They're taking rounds too. Sasuke does manage to get the kill from the grave, but
he's detained.
Down, gonna detain him. Oh no, not like this.
Look at the hunt. Doesn't find him though. Chihuahua's still alive. Chihuahua didn't die in the end, working through the slow though. On the spike, surely this is going to be a huge issue. Chihuahua needs to go. Chihuahua needs to go. Chihuahua makes the defuse. The defuse came in.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no, that is heartbreaking for Chihuahua. You could see him spamming the shots, trying to bait him off the defuse, but Modge with balls of steel. Balls of
steel.
Went
hunting. Like, as soon as that detain came in, Modge was out there looking, hunting. And I thought, no way Chihuahua's getting away with that. He gets away with that. Sits it out, waits, plays back in, but the timing must have been so close on that.
Well, did anybody say comeback? I'm not sure if anybody was even really talking about it in the Twitch chat.
No, would never
slip through the net at some point, yeah.
I don't know what to make of it. And if you're NIP at this point, you've got to be tilted, right? You just lost a round that probably was yours there. I mean, great play obviously to Futbolist, but that shouldn't have happened. That's just not what you expect. But here we are, regardless, at now a lead for Futbolist at 11-10. MR12, this is going right down to the wire now. What is the money like for NIP here as well? It can't be in a pretty place.
See, Korea gonna crack that wall immediately. 3 players back over towards B lane here, so again, looking to try and find entry here, and again, Futbolist not giving up that early kill and not looking to contest it either. So I like the fact now Futbolist have done the hard work. They just need to default back. I don't mean play passive, but with Magoo in that position on Snowman with the operator, they don't want to mess with it. But Chihuahua And a couple of friends have found their way up tube.
Mark, what's your timing like here? It's good enough for a headshot, not good enough for a kill. Sturban's in trouble, but they don't check it. Sturban stays alive. Korea just tried to dip down, get out of dodge, but it wasn't to be, and Sturban's found another angle, and he's found even more. That's a kill on towards existence, and suddenly there's problems aplenty for NIP. This is not looking pretty. The plant may come in. JD's found a kill, but there's still so much more to be done.
Oh, and actually going to bait the Reds out here. JD swings, though. Finds both of them there. 2v2 now. Both members of Futbolist down very, very low HP. Now, actually, there you go. 4 on the round for JD. Last man standing.
Get the money.
All the way back in behind Snowman. Sturban going to put up the Viper ultimate. Not sure about the usage here. Whether or not he's going to find any value here in a 1v3 situation. Nope.
No, JD, what a round. What a saving round for NIP. This game is absolutely wild. 11-11.
Take the money.
I cannot believe we got to this point. This looked like an NIP map, but we said we can't expect consistency from them yet. They're still relatively new. They're still working through things. I am amazed that we've got to this point and enjoying it thoroughly. Football is absolutely refusing to lose. But look at the buy they have right now. I don't know how they win this. I guess they have Jet with the ult. Maybe that's a chance. Good little information find there from Sturban. But oh, there it goes.
Well,
There's a big chance.
Yep. That's tough. That's tough. Again, I like it. They're trying to convert something, trying to get some value early round off that, give themselves the number advantage, but it doesn't work out at all. Rhyme going to get all that information. The wall goes down unopposed right now. And the timing on that, Chihuahua finds the 3rd existence. Shut down Sturban. Saski will find a consolation, but NIP now put themselves in touching distance, on match point here on Icebox. Looking to close this one out. And Futbolist, they can buy back in. 2 light armors, but rifles across the board.
This isn't just map point. This is match point. This is NIP on the verge of winning the series. And Futbolist.
Yeah, misspoke.
No, you're absolutely bang on though. This is the big one, right? This is the one that counts. It's either OT and maybe there's still hope, or it's closed out now. We have Korea on the op. We have everything we need. Magoo's still there. Sasuke alive and kicking. We've got to jump in with the players and not the scoreboard and see what's happening this time around. Already existence. Trying to maybe bait that fast mid piece is coming out. Certainly making it look like it.
Futbolists don't really seem to be readjusting on the back of it. Again, all that information behind screens. They know the push isn't coming through just yet. Again, no Futbolist. Now with Magoo over on A site, they do want to contest close on B lane here. You can see Sturban's found his way on top of the double box. That could be tricky for NIP to clear out.
Oh, it's filthy, isn't it?
Yeah. Dirty spot. But it is pretty much a one and done. Again, you got to hope that he doesn't find any more than that. NIP's still lurking in min here. 3 players here. It's just Chihuahua over here on B lane. He's kind of watching his own trap wire. The wall goes up, cuts off so they can pass under tube. Smoke over the turret as well. No information gathered on that side of things. Chihuahua will actually find Sturban. Queer, quick succession the second. That gives them B site.
Yeah, Moy's gone down, and now you got to look at towards Mark. Can he stop any of this? Spots out one, but the spike's now planted. There's nothing more that he can achieve without the rest of his buddies getting over there. We still have a couple of heavy hitters left in this scenario. JD's on the hunt though, spots out the Jet. That's going to be a problem. There's the kill, and he looks for the follow-up as well. The spray comes in, doesn't land as well, but Korea there to create madness amongst it. Sasuke, your last one standing in a 1v3. He can't save the day. It is existence to close down, and what a quarterfinal between NIP and Futbolist. What a way to start this one off. Let's head back to the analyst desk to talk through everything we just witnessed.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypoc. I'm kind of short on breath right now because when we went into this series, and it was a long time ago, I have to say, but every...
comparison to make between the NIP and Futbolist.
Makasih yang udah nonton, love you.